All right, today's question today is, should Election Day be a national holiday?
No.
No.
Yeah,
No.
There's a lot of arguments saying that it should. But mostly it's because people don't like mail-in voting. They don't like it.
I think mail-in voting's awesome.
I mean, it's but they say that opens up a gateway for election fraud, apparently, or whatever.
Some people say that.
Some people, yeah.
You're
But also, like, what other day of the year is more important than Election Day that we get off for?
National Boyfriend Day.
I
You
just
have to work.
okay. So in this state, in our state of Illinois, we have 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. to vote.
Mm-hmm.
That is more than enough time. I don't know why it needs to be.
Well, a lot of it is because a lot of people think it's Election Day, not Election Week. It turns into Election Week because people mail in by vote early or whatever. So it's not really a day. It actually takes several days, which people don't like.
Well, I don't know how that still equates to you getting off or
Because-
being on holiday.
Because then it eliminates the excuse of why people need to use mail-in ballots. Because there's a lot of people that are healthy, young, or whatever, that just out of their own convenience choose mail-in voting, which the idea of it was for people that were, either off serving in the military or people that were disabled. That was the whole idea of it. But now people are just like, oh, it's convenient.
That's what I
I
did.
don't see a problem with that.
I still don't know why that.
Because
why
a lot
we
of
need
people, I'm not saying that I believe this, but this is the argument.
Well,
A lot of people-
It's not necessarily saying you automatically get a day off. You just said it's a holiday.
Okay, well, let's just say it's a holiday. I don't still see why.
Yeah, basically, they want it to where there's no excuse why you can't vote. Because a lot of people think that if you're working, that it actually discourages a lot of people from voting. And then, as you know, there's a lot of people are work a full 8-hour day. By the end of it, they're either too tired, they don't feel like it, or it's just the last thing that they want to do. They don't want to deal with it.
Then those people aren't going to vote anyway. You want to
Well,
vote,
you
you're
can't-
going to vote.
And
Yeah.
people think they're still open on national holidays.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people still work on national holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel
Fewer-
like if you're
fewer.
going to vote, you're going to vote. You're going to take that time to vote. If you are not going to vote, you're going to find that little minuscule reason of not going to do it. Yeah, yours is minuscule.
I'm not
too.
doing it though.
But I'm just saying, like, that's
Yeah.
I don't know.
The where I see is, okay, like, there's a lot of holidays that happen throughout the year, and almost none of them are as important as Election Day. Almost none of them. And then for that, and it's hard to argue that. I mean, if you don't think it's important on who we get elected, who gets to become government officials, like what would be more important than that? What is more important than getting people to go out and vote?
Getting diabetes on Halloween.
I just
That to me is a fair argument. Now I like, I don't have a problem with mail-in votes and stuff like that. I think that's great or whatever. But the only argument I can see is like, that is a pretty important day, and if you can give anybody a reason to like help them go vote even more, give them a reason to, so like,
I mean, even if it was a holiday, that doesn't mean you have to.
it's
I mean,
not
we'd
making
still
people
work.
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, we work on Veterans Day. That's
Yeah.
important. We still work.
That's what I'm going to say. Yes, make it a holiday. Because I see a lot of other holidays that I think are silly.
Yeah, but those aren't bank holidays where you're like getting like actual.
Well, yeah, but even some of them that are, I still think are silly.
yeah, because I just think it just help. Okay, it doesn't do anything for the people that doesn't want to vote, but what about the people that do want to vote?
So they're going to make the time to vote.
Yeah, not necessarily. You can't speak for everybody. You mean that you're just
Yeah, what if
assuming that,
someone's working,
if they want to vote, they're going to
16
vote. If they
hours a
don't want to
day
vote,
and
they're not going to
they're
vote.
just-
What if they
they
work an
can't do
hour away from where they live?
Not everyone's.
You know, like,
You
One
know,
place
Then
is
you're-
pretty close to where they live, though.
what's that?
Normally.
Most
Only place
people,
tends to be pretty close to where
most
you live.
people, but the whole idea is it to be fair for everybody. And you can't just say, well, some people this and some people that. The whole idea is to open it up for everybody.
And then a national
Now, if
holiday
somebody
would
doesn't
make it
vote-
the same for everybody.
What's that?
national holiday would make it the same for everybody.
No, it's just too.
Unless you need
They-
either have power.
I believe that it would increase voting numbers by a lot.
Trade off Labor Day and then make Election Day a holiday.
I was
Labor
gonna
Day doesn't
say,
make any
I think
sense at
we
all.
need to restructure.
Yeah, I mean,
how
Just like
things
unions
are.
and
Yeah,
parades.
and see, and that's my argument is that we get days off for days that are really not that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It could be
yeah, Labor
2
Day
in 1.
is important, but like, okay, I mean, is that more important than like, oh, who decides who runs this country? You know, that's an argument to be had. If you ask me.
I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty indifferent. If you make it a holiday, I'll be like, cool.
Same.
But if you don't, it's not
Same.
gonna affect me. But
Yeah.
sure, make it
I
a
mean, and
holiday.
you gotta think like kids are already getting out because a lot of schools are polling places, and it just helps parents out. You know, I just feel like it makes a lot of sense if you ask me. But however, though, I don't think the traded should be getting rid of mail-in ballots, and I think that's really what the sole purpose behind it is to get rid of that, because a lot of people they believe that equates to election fraud, which I don't see how, but there's a lot of ballots that are getting turned away now, like today, because they didn't have the date or they had the incorrect date on them. So there's like a bunch of ballots that are not even going to be used unless they can get a hold of those people to come back and revote. There's a lot of issues with it. So, but I don't know.
There's gonna be issues either way. Then if it's over stuff like that, I don't
Mhm.
think a holiday really gonna fix anything. But I don't
No,
think it's
either,
gonna
because
hurt anything.
we're still gonna work. Those
I don't
people
think it's
should
gonna
start.
hurt.
I don't think it's
My
going to hurt
husband's still gonna
anything.
work.
I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I just think, if anything, it would just make voting turnout better.
I think
You know, and I think that ideally that's kind of what you want, right? Like if you want democracy and you want to,
Yeah.
a fair election, wouldn't you want to make it better versus worse? That is just my argument. But
What's the original question?
the question is, do you think Election Day should be a national holiday?
So national holiday means a bank
Oh,
holiday?
yeah.
Yeah. hmm
And elections
Yeah,
that
so-
involve federal electric things, so like a state, like a governor thing in and of itself wouldn't be one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or like
That is
mayor
true.
or whatever.
hmm
I don't exactly know the cycle of those.
I'll take it.
Depends
Sure.
It's not the worst idea.
hmm I mean, however, though, like I said, I think the real reason is because there's a lot of people out there that are really fighting hard to get rid of vote by mail. But I don't have a problem with that. I think that should stay the same. So
Absentee ballots, they'll never.
yeah, so I'm for national holiday, but I'm also for keeping keeping it so where you can vote by mail. But that's just,
I think we won't go backwards. I think there'll always be the absentee ballots and the
Mhm.
vote by mail. I mean, that is a system
Yeah.
that's already in place. It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
And we have military who you're
yeah.
always going to have absentee.
And then-
your girlfriend lives in a different state at the moment than when
Yeah.
she's registered, so she should have. Not saying she didn't or did. She should have voted by absentee.
I know.
Mhm. Yeah, and another thing is why does it have to be a day? If they want to be extreme and come up with new ideas of making it a holiday, maybe instead of making it a holiday, why don't you just make it a week where you have all week to go to a poll and vote? I mean, I feel like
Because I feel like if you're going to drag it out, then more
Yeah.
people won't do it. You'll procrastinate.
Yeah.
I
I would
don't
say
know.
the day is better than a week, but
I think
Yeah.
it needs to be a week
Yeah.
of voting.
I don't know. Anyways, back to the original question. I think it should be a national holiday only because I feel like it's one of the most important days of the year.
I'm a yes, and then take away Labor Day.
Every day.
I'm
What's the
just
point
a
of
yes.
It's a fine question.
Exactly.
I don't know what the original.
Yeah.
I mean, it was for the unions,
Probably
but,
unions, yeah.
but I don't really know why we actually do that. To be honest, I don't really care either one way or the other. It
Yeah.
doesn't really affect me. I'm going to make the time to go vote.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a holiday. Why not?
Yeah.
But
All right. So we're all in agreement here.
Sure.
Sure.
All right. Well, there we have it.
Everyone says sure.
Sure. I mean, it's one of those like